What's up, guys? Welcome to the No Nonsense live stream. It's Yaga. And how are we all doing today? Whew, it's been a fun day so far. Still kind of getting over this weird throat sickness thingy. What's up, intermission? Thanks for waiting. I know I'm a little late. Got caught up. How are we all doing? Doing good? You having a wonderful day down south in the heat of Georgia? Yeah, up here it doesn't feel like anything. It sucks. It's usually 12 p.m., right? Yeah, it is. I got hung up with something, so I was a few minutes late, so my apologies. Yep, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. So let's get into it. Today I thought it'd be interesting to talk about thoughts, feelings, and actions, how I believe each one transcends into the other. So you start off with thoughts, right? Thoughts are just uncontrollable sometimes, right? We can't control thoughts. I know I can't. Shit pops into my head, yet I have no control over. And it's usually something kind of either my first thoughts are usually something negative, evil, bad, funny, ripping somebody apart. I don't know, judgmental in a way. But my second thought usually is more compassionate, caring, loving, more in tune with reality. But I don't think my first thoughts are always anti-reality either. It's like if you're at Walmart and you're just witnessing the population there and you notice some characters and you call it out like you see it. I mean, that's not really a thought. I mean, that's right in front of your eyes. The point is, your thoughts transcend into your feelings, right? Let's say you have a thought. Relationships are what I like to talk about because it seems to be the easiest to identify with. And say you have a thought like, oh, is this guy looking at my woman or whatever? And then it gives you this feeling almost like concern, a little irritated, maybe frustrated, a little angry. And then you have that feeling. So what do you do with that feeling? Then you decide to take an action out of it. Do you accept it? Just let it go? Do you just brush it off as nonsense? Do you get really super pissed and let your emotion do your thinking for you and then engage with that fella? I don't like the way you looked at my lady, which is a little bit exaggerated, but is also sometimes people can overreact or we can underreact too. So what is the balance, right? So you have to ask yourself when to trust the feeling that first spawned this thought and then when to take an action on it. Is it something that needs addressing or is it something that's just a passing thing? Because a lot of the times thoughts just don't get past thoughts. They're in, they're out, here, there, whatever, right? It's like you see an attractive woman in public. You're going to notice and instantly think like, that's an attractive woman. It is. And then whatever thoughts come after that, I don't know. It's up to you. If you're perverted, you might think about other things. But if you're just respectful, you go, that's an attractive woman. And then you just thought in, thought out, and you go from there. But sometimes people would see that and be like, wow, it's a good looking woman. And then it gives you a feeling like, oh, I really like to talk to that person. So then you start to get that feeling. Then you might take the action like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go up there. I'm going to introduce myself, say hello, and see if maybe I can get a date with this person. There's a series of things that gets you to that point where taking that action is. So when is it healthy? When is it not healthy? And again, I think the best method that you can have for yourself is always have the honest conversation to yourself is, when is this just a crazy thought? It's like, I work as a bartender. I don't drink. And people are like, well, how can you bartend and not drink? I'm like, you just don't do it. But there are always thoughts of drinking. Like if I get a whiff of tequila or something like that, then yeah. Oh man, I have a thought of like, man, I remember when I was in Cabo getting hammered at the Cabo Wabo Cantina back in 2007. Like it brings back a memory. That was kind of fun. A thought in and out. But that doesn't make me feel bad. Like, it doesn't make me go, oh, I wish I could do this. Like I don't have that, like that feeling of wanting to do it. It's just random thoughts. It's like I have a coping mechanism that I have when I see people that either irritate me, piss me off, or I don't like. I call it my invisible pillow and the river. The invisible pillow is that thing I bust out when I see certain people or they do something to me, and I just want to take the pillow and go, you know, in my mind, smothering them. I'm not actually doing it. That's why I call it the invisible pillow. And then the other is the river. Like when I hear something so profoundly stupid to me, or just like in essence drags me down, it's like you just want to take the person's head in my mind, and there's a river next to you, and just go and put their head in the river. And just be like, just hold it there for a minute. Shh, shh, shh. You're like, well, why would you have these thoughts, Matt? That is that is unacceptable. I'm like, I think it's pretty natural. Okay. I think it's pretty natural that people have these thoughts. Again, this is just a thought. It's not something I'm gonna fucking do. Like, I don't please. But in your mind, that's why cartoons are fun. And that's why I did animations, because I could take these thoughts and put them in animations and then it's harmless. Except for the animation. Sorry, thirsty. So that's just like a weird coping mechanism that I have, invisible pillow, river, because I hear something so dumb. It's just a thought though. These thoughts don't lead to me actually wanting to do that. Now, people are like, well, they're serial killers. There's people that do that. I'm like, yeah, I understand. It exists. There have been people that have done some fucked up shit because they let those thoughts, the power of the mind, control their actions. Okay. If you start to think about something, think about how, just always in your own life, my fucking dad's pissing me off. He never does this, 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 and this. That thought is just a selfish, self-centered thought. Your father isn't behaving in the way that you want him to, so you are upset and mad at him. Then that gets you angry, the feeling now. So then you take action. What's the action turn into? You go up there and do you explode? Do you let it go? Again, every situation is just, I find that the best trick is to not let feelings dictate your actions. You know what I mean? Unless you're really good at trusting your instincts. And for me, it took me a long time to trust any of my inner instincts. But in hindsight, I look back at parts of my life, my instincts were telling me something was wrong, and I totally ignored them and did shit anyway. And of course, it always went off the rails. So I learned to, if I get that instinct, sometimes it's not even a thought. Sometimes I just get a feeling first. It doesn't always start with thoughts. Sometimes I get the feeling here in my gut where I'm like, oh, this isn't good. This isn't right. Oh boy. And then I start thinking. Sometimes it goes backwards, right? Starts with a feeling, then it gets thoughts. And then do I entertain the thought? Do I accept it and let it go? Do I do something about it? What do you do? What do you do when you're in those situations, I think a lot of people, no, I know a lot of people have problems with, having a thought and not being able to just accept it and let it go in and out instead of just entertain it. I think I know that's what keeps a lot of people from anything in life, like moving forward. I want more from my marriage and I don't feel like I'm getting enough. I'm like, feelings aren't reality, That's the thing you have to understand is feelings sometimes aren't reality. You have to know when it's a feeling, instincts, and this. And it takes a lot of self-examination to get good at this. Because most people aren't. Most people suck. Most people are emotionally driven people and either bottle shit up and then explode, wait for the dust to settle, never find a solution to what they exploded about, and then just go about their day. But yet carrying a resentment and bearing it inside, You gotta work through your own internal struggles, right? In order to know when it's okay. It's like, for example, a year ago when I met my girlfriend, I did not want to be in a relationship. I thought that I was on a certain path. But then she came into my life, and my instinct came over. This hardcore instinct that I couldn't ignore that told me go, and it was, you know, my people be like, "Ugh, that's just like you just liked her, man. You just felt infatuated or loved her." I go, no, I know the difference. This was this thing that goes, go with this. Don't let your mind tell you that you should be selfish and self-centered right now. Go with this. I listened, and here we are today. And it's been great. It's been an ups and downs and all kinds of stuff, but it's taught me a lot about my own issues and what I still need to deal with, and has made me grow a lot in the last year, believe it or not. And we've helped each other with that. And that is key, I think, if you want, say, like a relationship, is growth. Because a relationship can't always be when you first get together and it's like the butterflies and that feeling, and it's great, because it's new, it's fresh, somebody's getting to know you, you get you message them, you call them, you're hanging out, you're going out to eat, you're just doing dates. It's fun. It's really good because now you're like, oh, I get to tell my stories to somebody else. They get to hear all my life again. It's always fun to tell people my stories. And so dating's fun, essentially. But once you get past the dating phase, it's always about growth, right? So being with somebody you can grow with, I think, is key. But a lot of people fuck up with their thoughts. They're like, is this going anywhere? Where do I see myself with this person in 5 years? Can I marry this person? Do I want to be with that? It's like, those thoughts are hindering you from what's right in front of you and enjoying the now, If you're always going into a relationship with those mental blockades of, is this something? Can I have it? What is it? I need this checklist of stuff. You're already pretty much sabotaging that relationship from the start. Yeah, it might be fun for a while. Maybe it lasts, a few months, 6 months, a year, maybe. But then it goes to shit because you've got these crazy expectations on what it is. And to be honest, I think you really can't have expectations on things unless they're like on people in relationships, at least. You can't let those thoughts determine everything, It's a preconceived notion of how a relationship's supposed to go, and that is so far from reality. Okay, it's just not. It's not reality at all. Not even a little bit. But so, say like you're in a marriage and you're thinking like there's a woman, okay? Say you work with a woman, right? And she's attractive and she's sending off a signal like she likes you, right, dudes? And you're married, you're very faithful to your wife. So the thought crosses your mind like, oh my God, this woman's putting out a signal to me. And it gives you that feeling. Now, if you're a good, honest man, it should give you the feeling like this isn't a good idea, honey. This is wrong. But if you're anything goes, fella, you're like, look at this. I probably get my dick sucked tonight. Woo! That's true. But if you're a decent, honest man, like you would be like, hey, married, step back, thank you. But the thought crosses your mind like, oh shit, this is an attractive woman who's giving me the time of day, So it gives you that feeling. But I think if you live honestly, you'll know what to do in those situations. Now, if you're not, that thought of this woman goes, oh, this woman might like me. Gives you the feeling like, you know what? I can have an affair. Then you take the action. So what do? Do you take the initial reaction, the initial action, I should say, and take it further, or do you just cut it off right there? Actions. Do you pursue that lady after she tells you she likes you? Do you go, well, here's my number, call me, or yeah, maybe we should go out for coffee? I mean, do you take it to a different level and open up Pandora's box into a whirlwind of problems that you didn't have that moment? Or do you shut it down and go, I'm married, no thank you, it's over? I think for men, we're pretty good at doing that. I can't speak for women. I don't know. But I hear a lot of women say that they're just scared sometimes to do, like, say no to dudes when they approach them, which makes sense, because dudes were fucking, whatever, I guess. I mean, I don't know. Women, women just live in a lot of fear. Poor things. I feel so bad for them. They gotta not worry. Um, Feelings can spiral into dumb behavior. Yeah, like, if you get a thought and you're wrong, let's say you misplaced your prize antique thing in the house. I know it's a shitty example, but let's just say you lost your keys, okay? Let's say you lost your keys and your first thought was like, "Where the fuck are my keys?" And you get that feeling of anger because that's lost, right? Your fear. You fear losing the keys. So you start to think like, "Did you steal my?" And you start blaming people, right? You start acting out like, "Did you take my keys? Did you fucking do that?" And this is, this will tell you a lot if you're emotionally stable or not, or if you're pretty calm and collected, or like, or you misplaced your keys and you go, "Huh, I don't know where my keys are at. I think I should probably look for them. Let's see if I can find them." And then you calmly go about your day. That's a question you ask yourself. If you were to lose your keys, do you freak out and start yelling at everybody? Or do you calmly like collect your shit and go, I wonder what I did with them. Let me retrace my steps. And you know who you are if you're the latter or not. And if you're laughing right now, it's probably because you get angry at losing shit like that. And you freak out until you go, "Oh, there it is. There it is. Oh, I got it. I got it. It was right in front of me the whole time." And I've done that. I fucking done that, dude. That's how I know. That's how I know this shit is because I've done it. I've lost, you know, think about all you crazy zombies out there with your soul suckers, the cell phone. Think about if you misplaced that for more than 30 seconds. Did you freak out? What are your first thoughts when you can't find your phone? You have a fucking heart attack. You have anxiety through the roof. You start crying, maybe even because of that thought. Aristotle had a great quote. "It is the mark of an educated mind to be able to entertain a thought without accepting it." Sure. What does that mean to you? To me, it means like I can entertain thoughts of, say, like being a bartender and downing a thing of tequila right in front of me, but I'm not going to do it. It's just a thought. You don't accept the thought as like, "Oh, that's reality. That's what I'm going to do." No, because the mind is like an imaginary playground that can create whatever reality it wants. That's why it's so powerful. But actual reality is reality. That doesn't lie either. Sometimes you just got to take a step back, look around, and realize, like, it's all up here. It's just the way I'm thinking about shit. I'm a little off base. So, thoughts sometimes beget feelings and then go into actions. But also, you can get a feeling first, which then creates thoughts, and then you jump into action, right? I know from my own life, I used to be so reactionary to everything that I didn't know how to not be angry. Like, all I did was blow up out of anger because I never realized how much actual fear I lived in until I realized, if that makes any sense. Meaning, I had to learn to not cave into so many feelings. I had to learn to not let my feelings dictate my actions, right? Because we all live in this world, right? And whether you're at work, home, out in the general public, we have to interact with other human beings. There's going to be people that irritate you. There's going to be people you disagree with. There's going to be people you just flat out don't fucking like. And you have to learn how to not let them get under your skin. If you let them get under your skin, you are the one who suffers, not necessarily them. If they're the one starting to overreact, and you feel your own, you want to you want to get involved, you want to fucking box. You have to know that in that moment, you have the upper hand. You really do. You have the choice and opportunity based on your action following that feeling, whether it's going to escalate and you act out of that emotion, or you just accept the emotion and go, okay. And you back off from the situation. Yeah, like again, relationships. Think about how many times you're with your significant other, wife, girlfriend, whatever, boyfriend, whatever, and you got into a fight, right? And you're getting angry at each other, and then it's constant, right? Back and forth. Your anger begets their anger, and then it's just escalating. Well, what happens when one of you is like, ah, and the other one just like, yeah, you're right. I love you. It's all good. And you just diffuse the whole situation because it's on you. I know when I get angry, if I feel myself unable to, like the feelings about to go into an action that's going to cause me to apologize later, I step back and go, you know what? I got to go for a minute because I have to cool down. I have to let the pot simmer a little, let the water go down because I'm starting to boil. And once the pot boils over, it's over. It's everywhere. You got to clean it up. There's no fixing it, but you can turn the heat down a little by walking away. That's one of the things I've always done with my own anger is like if I feel that and I can't handle it in that situation in my mind and I'm already in a shitty mood, then I know for me, I have to back away and just let myself calm down for a little while before I approach the situation to find a solution. Okay. Uh, and again, that's when I let my feeling take over. Feelings, man, if you're angry, think about the crazy thoughts you have when you're mad. You know, you start to get these resentments towards people. You start to think like everything's fucking wrong. And you just keep going back and forth. And you're starting to have, these crazy, wily thoughts about, you know what? This fucking person's doing this. And then the reality of it is you were wrong. And, it's delusional thinking, really. And I've been there, I've been wrong. I've thought some crazy shit sometimes in my past where uh, I thought of full scenarios or stories and then comes to reality that, yeah, that was all up in here and it was not going on around me. Again, hard learning process. But the good thing is, if you're aware of that shit, you can learn to not do it. You have to become aware of your own shit. You have to be aware of you. You have to know that thoughts aren't reality sometimes, okay? And these feelings that you get, unless you're really in tune with your instincts and have had some formal training in this, like formal training in calming your mind, uh, I don't know. You have to work on it. I have. I've spent a lot of time getting this thing to not jump to conclusions or that, but the feeling thing is where I find a lot of actions and avenues take place. That's why if I'm ever angry, I know I'm not in my right mind. I'm not sober minded. So then I am not behaving properly. Okay. But if I'm calm, like now, I'm calm, collected. I'm in a great fucking mood today. I had a great night. I had a great morning. I'm awesome right now. Like I'm just I am in the zone of, like everything feels wonderful at this point. So I am trying to just, I'm riding that wave today because right now everything's fucking great. And like right now, things in my life, wonderful. And it's all a mindset. You have to look around and be grateful for stuff. Gratitude, 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 gratitude. It's the mind that tells you otherwise. Like, I should have more stuff because I did this and that and the other thing. Like, no, you shouldn't. Look around you. Everything's wonderful. Everything's wonderful right now at this exact moment. Okay. See, you have to constantly, 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 constantly practice that shit every single day, all day, every day. Not you don't reach a certain peak and reach master of Zen or anything like that. You have to ongoing process. This is true. I've done it. I still do. It's ongoing for me till the day I die. Always working on that shit. And I feel anger is one of those emotions where, you lose your shit and you just start saying and behaving in the worst animalistic human ways. So you say evil shit, you do bad shit. And then once the dust settles, you got to go clean up the mess. And, it that's why the Hulk is a perfect example of rage. Hulk is from Marvel, they captured the human part that once it's unleashed, it's just unstoppable. That's what Hulk is. He is a rage monster. He is the deepest, darkest part of you that once it's out, that's it. You have to let it run its course because there's no going back, you know. That's why it says, you don't like me when I'm angry. And the Hulk in comics represents, you know, that rage that I think that I know we all feel. I feel it. I've had that. I've had Hulk rage moments, I call them. You know, punch a hole in the wall, break something, you know, whatever. And then you go, but there's comes a time you don't need to get to that point. Rage is so much worse than an anger thing. Because rage, once it becomes rage, is just uncontrollable. Like you are blinded by your feeling emotion. There is no stopping. There is no force that can physically stop you from that rage. Okay. And you have to learn to keep it under control. You have to learn to manage those feelings, to not let yourself get to a Hulk rage mode. You know, I used to be a guy who bottled up everything. I thought something, I felt it, and I was like, just push it down, push it down. And then eventually it turned into craziness. Excuse me. So, people trying to get in. I think that's enough talking for so long. So, thoughts, feelings, actions. Don't let your feelings dictate your actions. If you feel like you're about to be an asshole, you're about to do something stupid, say something stupid, take a minute, just step back, breathe a little bit. Know that it's going to be okay and just relax. It'll all be good. All right. That's kind of a quick stream, but you know, there's, you know, whatever. Maybe next week I'll talk about rage. I don't know. Let me know what you want me to talk about. But right now the cat's in here and he's being a dick. So, all right. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff at TWO Yaga. And I will return next week. Same time, same place, same everything. Okay. Don't take yourself too seriously. Don't. I never do.